It is about Mossad. We have seen them in action for a very long time, and save and except the 7th October fiasco, the Hamas attack, we have seen the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, the whole Iranian leadership, decapitation of the Iranian leadership, nuclear scientists, IRGC officers. It's a regular pattern, sir. I was just trying to understand, sir, the information gathering. What are your views on the information gathering? How do they work it out? Capabilities, information gathering, capacities, execution of those information, sir. That is also becomes very important. What, how do you rate their spycraft? What makes them work?
There are two things, One is you're a professional intelligence agency. You will give the information that you get, and the means of procuring information are pretty standardized, shall I say. You know how to get it. You have आजकल तो आपके पास technical advantages भी हैं. Surveillance के eavesdropping, pinpointing, location कर लेते हैं. You can do all that. You can plant all that on a person, and you can get him. Somebody was telling me a story that he had sent in dentists to do treatment for Iranian the ruling class, shall we say, whoever needed it. And when they were doing an implant, they put in a location finder on in that clip. It was there in the tooth. So wherever he went, you know where he was. It sounds reasonable, but I don't know whether it's right or wrong.
Yes, sir.
But they must have had a system to locate exactly where the president of Hamas was when he was killed. He had gone for the inauguration of the Iranian prime minister. He went to live in his complex. He was killed there. So they must have had accurate information, timely information, on time. It's not as if, okay, yes, he will stay there, and that room, it's a huge palace. So that information must have come from inside, inadvertently or from paid source. And intelligence is as good as the consumer. अगर मैं आपको कुछ बताऊं, I give you a bit of information and you are skeptical about it, despite my saying that it is from absolutely unimpeachable sources, etc., etc. You don't want to accept it because it doesn't agree with your way of looking at the situation. You want to go here, and I'm telling you it's like this. You say that's rubbish. It can't be. I don't believe it. ऐसा भी होता है. Because I am the producer of intelligence and information. You are the consumer. You have to decide what you want to do with that information. And if you don't accept it, I am not going to be able to act on my own intelligence. Especially in another country, because that means a whole lot of repercussions it can have. Espionage is different. This is action on the result of espionage. What of whom espionage you do? Interception of messages, email, satellite photography, human source, whatever. Whatever. So the intelligence evaluation is not done by his producer. He has to decide what he wants to do with it. I feel that even in October 7, something says within me that it can't be they had no idea about this. It's Mossad, Shinbet, MI. They must have had some idea. Who decided to ignore it, play it down? I'm speculating, I don't know. So, and even in this particular case, Iran was their main subject. This place I'm a little more concerned. In this case, Iran was the primary target. Didn't they know what they had prepared in response to an attack by the Israelis? How they would go into a war of attrition. When you talk about an agency which is rated number 1, so didn't they know that this is the path they're going to take? And this will hurt us, Israelis. They haven't, that hasn't been reflected in what is, because they were all caught by surprise, it seems. At least the Americans were. They didn't know that this is how it will be played out. Or did they know and then let the Americans take the beating? Those are different situations. So I'm not just prepared to believe it was intelligence failure. Maybe they got wrong about the intensity of October 7th. They thought it would be bad, but not so bad. So maybe they needed an excuse to attack the tunnels that the Hamas had built underground beneath those hospitals. They couldn't get it because only 5 people have been killed. You can't bomb a hospital for that. You have to have a corresponding disaster. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I'm not sure whether that is how it's going.
Your thoughts are very important, sir.
That's how I look at it. And they really are frustrated with their intelligence collection methods. And a lot depends on how much political support you get for your activities which are anti the other country. And there are many who feel this is not done. This is not done. This is not kosher. This is against human dignity and whatever you might call it. There are other more practical people who say it has to be done. In the 90s, we had a series of prime ministers.
Yes, sir.
After Rajji Desai, and after the death of after
Rajiv Gandhi.
Rajiv Gandhi के जब term खत्म हुई, in between you had
नरसिम्हा राव के बाद सर.
नरसिम्हा राव से पहले भी हुआ था. Frequent changes of government. After between Rajiv Gandhi and Narasimha Rao, there were frequent changes of prime ministers. VP Singh and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir. VP Singh, Chandrasekhar, then Deve Gowda.
Then you had
Gujarat.
Deve Gowda came later.
Yes, sir.
Gujarat, Deve Gowda, somebody else. So we didn't have political continuity of how the political establishment views the importance of intelligence, of external intelligence. If you don't have that, then you're sort of put on a back burner. बस आते जाइए, रख दो. So you have to have a government that is practical and takes into account that what these chaps are saying has to be given some weightage. That is not just throw it out of the window because he's saying things I don't agree with. Political master says, I only want information that I agree with, then what's the point in having it? So it has to be, I think,
Yes, sir.
present law, the leadership is more attuned to this. They know the importance. They know to act on it. They rely on it. That's where I'll leave it.
Yes, sir. So there are lessons to be learned about how to perceive your national security and stuff. Unless you start believing in that, I think action becomes very difficult for anybody to take.
Yeah.
But, sir,
the other side also loses interest. Chodo, yeah, they're not going to take
yes,
us
sir.
seriously.